Welcome to the Pink and Green Podcast, where we explore the rise of Vermont soccer through the lens of community, culture, and the game itself, featuring stories from Vermont Clover FC. Join us as we talk with players, coaches, and the people shaping the future of the game in Vermont.
Guess.
Welcome to the Pink and Green Podcast. Nailed it. I'm AJ.
And I'm definitely Chris.
Rough start, but we made it.
I don't know. I mean, it's a Sunday morning. We're easy. It's easy like Sunday morning. What do you got going on today, AJ?
That's a good question. I don't know what I have going on today. Yesterday we dipped down to the Addison County Fair and Field Days for a little bit. And that was a good time. Yeah, how about you?
That Field Days is kind of right around the corner from me, actually. It's only a couple of minutes. We also visited the fair. We went the first day. Girls got the rides, did the whole thing. Demo Derby, part 1, which was awesome. We watched some small cars smashing into each other, which is always an amazing time. I'm back in the 802 for right now, as you can see by my background.
Yes.
And this will probably be the last one of these that we do from the 802 for quite some time.
Because okay.
I'm about to go up to Paul Smith's for our fall season.
All right. And so Paul Smith's is a college in a town, I believe, called Paul Smith's.
Correct.
And it's nestled in the mountains of the Adirondacks. Yeah, Adirondacks. And you're kind of like, you go to Lake Placid and then you go a little bit further, right?
Yeah, from where we go. So I go across the lake and up. I go across over the bridge in Crown Point, and then I go up along the lake. And then from where I go, it's like you go through Lake Placid, then you go through Saranac Lake, and then it's like a little further than that.
Okay.
And for anyone who's ever driven to places in the North Country where it gets all flat, like Potsdam or Canton or any of those towns up there, you are directly across. Like there's a place that you turn right. It's a T, and that's Paul Smith's. If you just drive straight into the parking lot, that's Paul Smith's. It's
Gotcha.
Interesting facts about Paul Smith's. It's the largest college campus in the world. It's 14,000 acres.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And the core campus is, as you would expect for a small college, it's kind of like right central there. But the rest of the acreage is part of, originally, it was like a wilderness resort kind of thing where they would do like the hunting and the fishing and, all that kind of stuff in the Adirondacks. And then it all burned down, and they decided they wanted to do it as a college. So that they started doing like tourism and resort management, which, as you would expect, right? And then they added forestry because whatever. And now we do all sorts of stuff, but still lots of outdoor sciences, natural resource conservation management, that sort of thing. But a business program that's kind of like really focused on entrepreneur stuff, culinary program, which is very, very good. We have a sports management program, which is really cool. Those are the big ones. And there's other ones too, but like those are the kind of big ones. And if you go on the website, this is my plug for it, and you look at it, it's the student center is like directly on the lake. So there's like a dock that goes effectively like out from the student center. And if you were real stupid and wanted to hurt yourself, you could jump off the deck where you eat lunch into the water and injure yourself. So it's literally on the lake. It's a very, I didn't go to school there, but it's a unique place to have a college experience. And, just again, talking about what people do and why they go there, regardless of what they want to study, these are all people that like being outside.
Yeah.
The guys on my team, they want to, they're there, they want to hunt, and they want to fish, and they want to camp, and they want to hike, and they want to ski, and they want to snowboard because, Whiteface is right there. It's 40 minutes away. And because we have a long-standing relationship with them, our students and staff get screaming deals on like a season pass.
Gotcha.
So my guys will like go skiing all winter long together, or snowboarding all winter long together. So they like it's the Adirondacks. There's not a lot to do. It's 15 minutes out of town.
Yeah.
Well, town proper is like Saranac, and it is the hamlet of Paul Smith's, and the post office is right in the middle of campus, which is basic. But Paul Smith owns so much land, and there have since been like over time they've kind of like chunked some off and sold it here, sold it there, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's big. It's real big. And so the cool thing from an educational perspective, I'm not trying to spend 15 minutes of our podcast just on a monologue about Paul Smith's doing the advertising thing. But the cool part is that when the science programs, which are, it's also very experiential based learning. So we tend to attract non-traditional learners, right? So kids who don't want to be in a lab doing biology, they want to be outside catching salamanders, right? So, but when you're outside doing stuff, you're almost always doing it on campus because there's this really huge thing. And we work with the Adirondack Watershed Institute is based on campus. And so if you ever go to the Adirondacks and you see the boat stewards doing like the clean your boat stuff and checking boats and whatever, that program is based at Paul Smith's.
Uh-huh.
Which is really cool. So we do a lot of work with the state of New York on like water quality stuff, and it's awesome. Like it's a really, really cool place. And we've done really cool stuff from a soccer perspective there. But overall, and also Buchek's an alum. I don't know if you knew this.
Oh, okay.
Back in the day. Yeah. In the 90s, I think, when it was just a 2-year school, and it has since become a 4-year school.
And so you coach there, and you basically, because it's not really a commute that you could make on a daily, right? So you live there for the entire season. Do you come home at all? Like,
yeah, I have a place on campus,
okay.
And I'm there. I would say I'm on campus like at night, like probably 4 days a week. It kind of depends on the week because that's just how this stuff goes. On our off day, almost always Monday is an off day, and almost always, like, it depends on what's going on Sunday. But if we have a game Saturday and not on Sunday, then we'd probably be off like Sunday and Monday. So I'd be home for those times. Mm-hmm. So I try to get home when I can, but also the nature of the schedule is that we have one field, we have lights, and classes are going from 8 to 5. So we have to train at night. So, I'm not trying to get home at 11 o'clock or whatever.
No.
When everybody's asleep, and then the dogs do dog things and wake people up. So usually I'm on campus, like if we're practicing, but there are some days I'll go back and forth depending on what the situation is.
Sure.
Yeah. It's not awesome being effectively away from your family for a couple of months.
Yeah.
But I think that, they settle into a rhythm and they kind of have their own thing going on. And, we talk every night or at least once a day with the girls and Nikki and whatever. So we make it work. I think in an ideal world, Paul Smith would be closer.
Sure.
Because I love Vermont. I'm not trying to not be in Vermont, but I really love what we do. And I think it's a really special place. And I think I've said this before, but I'm really proud of the stuff we've been doing with the soccer program. And
yeah,
I don't want that to go away. But we're also not here to talk about me or Paul Smith, Uncle Paul, as I call him. We have a very special guest today.
As we always do. Today, our guest is someone who's helping shape the next generation of Vermont soccer. Oscar Loomis played his high school soccer career at Burr and Burton Academy before transitioning into coaching. And this year, he takes on not one, but two exciting roles. He helped lead Vermont Clover's Elite 11 program. And also, I've heard he's becoming the new head coach at Middlebury Union High School. Oscar represents a new generation of coaches focused on player development, building culture, and continuing to grow the game here in Vermont. Oscar, welcome to the Pink and Green podcast.
Thank you. Good to meet you guys. Actually, AJ, we know each other a little bit from standing on the sidelines.
Yeah, I hang around a little bit.
Yeah, taking photos and whatnot. I'm also here in the 802, in the heart of Burlington, having a nice chill morning. My mother-in-law got married yesterday and out in the boonies in Braintree, Vermont. So cruise back over here this morning.
Wait, your mother-in-law? I had no idea that you were married or had any significant other, Oscar. Good for you.
Yeah, dude. Married. Young and in love.
Good for you. High school sweethearts or found each other after
No, we met when I was starting college in Burlington. We've been married for about 3 years now. Yeah.
Good
Eve.
For you.
I'm gonna give her a shout out. Yeah.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Champlain for a year, and then I moved to Plymouth for another year. Yep.
So you met Eve when you were at Camp Champ, and then did she go to Plymouth, or did you guys do the long distance?
No, it took a year off. Came back, so I met each other again. Kicked it off from there. Yeah.
That's cool. Love springs eternal, really cool. Right? It's awesome.
Right?
We're already learning things about each other. How many conversations have we had and this didn't come up?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think we should start with like how Oscar got involved with Clover at all, which was really simple. Like
Excellent.
he
That was a question on my list. So let's start
really,
there.
oh
Yes.
great,
Yes.
yeah. So Oscar, you want to tell him? Actually, I'll tell him. He sent me a message and was like, "Hey, I'd like to be involved and like help learn to do this coaching thing." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." But my question always is, and this was the same thing I asked you, AJ, is like, what prompts a person to just send some random stranger a message and say, "I want to be a part of this thing that I don't really know anything about"?
I feel like Vermont's been missing that sort of like homegrown soccer culture for a long time. And it was really cool when the Green started a couple years ago. I was really interested in that. I remember I tried out, but I'm old. The legs don't work like they used to. But it was cool to just see like the culture growing, and then as they sort of kind of I feel like they strayed away a little bit from like the homegrown spirit of it. So when Clovers popped up, I remember being on Instagram and I see this post from the league, and it was like new team alert, Vermont Clovers, and I'm like, what? I opened the page. You guys have like 100 followers. I'm like, what? What is this? So I remember seeing it as you were posting announcements for people joining, like players and coaching staff. And I just followed it all the way through. And finally, I moved. I was living down in Southern Vermont with my mom, and I moved back up to Burlington. I was like, you know what? Long shot, but might as well just shoot an email over because it's like I thought it was a really, really cool prospect and a really cool thing that you guys had going on. I was like, I probably won't answer. Like, I've applied to a million soccer jobs and no one ever answers them. Shot an email over, and to my surprise, like a week later, I get an email back from Chris, like, hey, here's my number. Give me a call this week. And it kind of just kicked off from there. Yeah.
That's that's AJ had a similar experience, right? It's like,
Very similar. Yeah.
give me a call.
Yeah.
And then we talk. What's important to me with bringing people around is not necessarily the exact skill set you have or experience you have or whatever, but like you're like the alignment of your heart to what we're doing. And not I'm so into the project, but like, is it going to be a good match with who we are and what we do? And like, do you believe in the same things that we believe in, from a coaching perspective? Like talk to Brian, like, yeah, like we could have this guy do anything. He's like, yeah, bring him around. Let's see. It's kind of like that's his approach. It's like, yeah, let's bring. I
I'll
mean,
chase balls if you need me to. Like, I just wanted to be involved.
yeah. And how's the experience been? Like, what's a thing or things that you may have learned throughout
Yeah,
this
it's
summer?
been awesome. Just like being around Brian and Al and Lou and all those guys, and just like seeing how they run trainings, like what they focus on wanting their players to do, and having clear ideas of what each role should be. Being at games, just the atmosphere. It's like it's it's so like something that I've never really been a part of before. Yeah, it's and just seeing how like invested everyone is in something that like just so new. It's just starting up, and they're just on it from the get go. It's been amazing. Yeah.
Chris, I gotta ask you, this just kind of popped in my head. We're on guest like this is like the 13, 14, 15 show that we've done, and there's been this consistent kind of message from the guests that like, you know, seeing what Clover's doing, it's really unique, it's really cool. Like where does that land for you, right? Like is what you're hearing like the original intent of everything? Like is anything in this shocking you?
No, I mean, I think it's the original intent, but when you have
Sure.
when your intent breathes a thing into the world, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's how the world receives it, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's I
So
guess
I
my
really
question.
appreciate the positive confirmation bias. Is what's going on here. So like my thought is we're doing this awesome thing and we're creating more opportunities for and as again for the people that have been listening to this consistently, when I say more opportunities, I don't just mean playing. I mean for
Right.
coaches, for all the things, right?
Yeah,
Like learning
yeah.
how to do professional things, whatever, creating all those opportunities. But to hear somebody say, yeah, this is really cool and this was a great opportunity and I'm glad it existed, it's my heart is already full of gladness most of the time, but it adds a little more gladness to be in there when
Yeah.
sounds like Oscar had a great experience. Sounds like he might have learned a little thing. So, and maybe that helped him like move forward with what he wants to do and what his passions are. And like, again, if you touch one person, that's success. Like,
Sure.
you know, the Human Enhancements Project is, you know, like I didn't think it was going to be a human experience enhancement project, but like it is, and that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Oscar, I want to go back and kind of talk about your soccer career. So let's start there. How'd you get into soccer? Where'd you play? What'd you do? What position?
Yeah,
All that good
I
stuff.
actually got into soccer pretty late. I think I was like 12 or 13 when I first like joined the team, and I was just, my mom wanted me to get out of the house, stop playing video games. So I joined like my
Classic.
local club, Fusion, back in the day. It was, it was just like my friend's super Catholic mom was the coach, and it was all super grassroots. Yeah, I just like fell in love with it, and I couldn't get enough of it. I started playing like during the school season. Uh, I went to this tiny little school called Long Trail down in Southern Vermont for my middle school. It's like an alternative. I think there's like 150 kids, like all the way from sixth grade through 12th grade. Tiny school. But it was just like I had so much community around me from like, I'm from a small like farm town in Southern Vermont. Like there's no kids my age at all. So being around other people and just being able to like convene together and have like something to do together all the time, I loved it. So played middle school when I was in eighth grade in middle school. The varsity coach had me come try out with them at the beginning of the year, and I got to play varsity my eighth grade year of middle school, and that's when it really for me was like, this is something I can like do. Like this is something really important for me. So I remember I was going through the youth ranks. I played fusion. I played with John O'Connor at Summit. That was an awesome experience.
Oh,
I love
okay.
that guy.
Yep.
Yep. And then I did the ODP system and like going to the camps in New Jersey and the tournaments and stuff. It was so exciting. Like for a kid, like being able to feel like it feels like you're on the national team for your state. So it was just an awesome experience. Yeah. And then I kind of fell out of the game after college. Like COVID happened. I was injured. My body wasn't holding up, so I was out of it for a couple of years. And then my old neighbor from Rupert, the little town, was a coach at Long Trail, and he was moving on to go coach a college in Massachusetts, and he hit me up. He's like, "Hey, would you have any interest in coaching soccer this fall?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got nothing going on. I paint houses for a living. Like I don't have much to do." So I showed up, did the tryouts, got my team. Uh, yeah, from like the first week of coaching, like seeing how the kids react and how much fun they have, it like totally brought me back into the game. I like totally fell in love with it again. The season was awesome. We had all sorts of ups and downs. We weren't that good. Like it's an alternative school. There's not a huge player pool to pick from, but they're all we're like sixth and seventh graders. They're like 4.5 feet tall, and we're playing against eighth graders. They're taller than me. Just getting smashed around the pitch. But yeah, just like trying to find ways to work around that with them was awesome. Um, and yeah, the season ended. We had our whole like end of the season party. Like, please come back next year. I was like, I can't wait till see you guys. And then things changed. I moved to Burlington and started with the Clovers. And it's actually really funny. When we went and played that like scrimmage charity game at Applejack this year against the was it the Fusion? What was their name? The Fusion Legends or something?
I just made that up. But yeah, it's a bunch of guys that Fusion got together. The Fusion Legend All Stars is what I
Yeah.
called it.
But we played that game. I got drafted into play because we were low on numbers. I don't think I had my greatest performance on the pitch, but we got done with the game, and I hear like footsteps coming up on me, and it's a bunch of my kids from Long Trail, and they run up on me with their cameras out, and they're like trying to make me do a post game interview, and they're like talking about, hey, how did you think you performed? Um, and they're like, I was like, oh, guys, like, come on, I got to talk to the team. They're like, please come back this year. Please come back.
Oh, that's
I'm
awesome.
like, guys, I can't. I'm sorry. They're like, just promise you will. It's amazing to like see like the impact you can have on like people who are like in their formative years. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Similar story, like to mine, it's just like, I'm not doing anything. Of course I'll do that. Right.
Yeah,
As a just a general attitude about when somebody asks you to do a thing, I'm not doing something. Of course I'll do that. Right. Like, why not? And it's like
yeah,
when
sure.
someone's thinking about you for a thing like that's like, there's a massive, like, I feel like a massive debt out to the universe when someone's thinking about me to do this thing that's really cool,
Yeah.
like go coach a team. Right. Um, how, so the Middlebury thing that happened not too long ago. So what do you see like day one? Like, how do you want to, how are you approaching that day one?
Yeah. Well, I know I've been talking to the kids on the sports U, and um, a lot of them are concerned about if they are on the varsity team already, that they still have to try out. And like 100%, this is a new start. This is merit based. If you're good enough to make the team, you'll make it. And if you're kind of coasting along from before, you're going to have to earn it. So it's going to be, I'm going to be, have to be a little tough on them from the beginning, just get them kicked into gear. But yeah, it's going to be good. We're going to be doing a lot of just, we're doing a little bit of fitness at the beginning because I know it's the summer. Uh, I doubt everyone's been training super hard. They have been having captain's practices for a few months just to keep a lot of the dudes who are really into it in shape. So that's going to be a huge boost for them at least. But I'm going to just be doing a lot of like playing. I want to see how they play in games and like simulated games, scrimmages. I just want to see how they think, like if they see the game the right way, if they are technical enough to play the game the right way, and then once we get through it's going to be a tough beginning for them. There's going to be a lot of running, a lot of working, but then we'll get into the tactics and the season ahead of us because I just want to get our I want to see who's going to be a good fit for the roles they're going to be playing this year. Yeah.
Can we I just have to ask, so like step back a second. Is the coaching job at Middlebury, is that now the full-time job?
No. So I got rent to pay. So I'm a painter during my day job.
Okay. So
But
so the so coaching is still like an evening part-time thing.
I mean, it's my passion. Like
Yeah.
it's that or nothing else.
Sure,
Like I don't.
sure. No, I'm just trying to understand like how does Middlebury handle that? Because I think some coaches, and it depends on the budgets and stuff like that. But I think some coach maybe they're just already on staff at schools and stuff like that. So I was just wondering like, is this your full time job or not? And it's not. Okay. How did you get the job? Like talk to me about the interview process, right? Like you see this opportunity pop up. Was it like a recommendation? Did you apply for it? And then what's it like to navigate through that process?
Yeah, definitely a massive recommendation from Chris. I think I
Okay.
had just gotten home from a Elite 11 game, and he hits me up. He's like, "Hey, do you have any interest in coaching the Middlebury High School team?" And I was like, "Yes, absolutely." So he sent me over Sean's number, sent him a massive recommendation for me, and yeah, I got an interview time with Sean. We went in. I went in. Annan and Oliver were the two captains who were in there for the meeting because they've had some rough years. They wanted to get a good idea of who their coach coming in would be and what their ideas were. So we went over a lot of things like tactics, how I want them to play, what I want them to play in terms of style, expectations for the season, not setting them too high or too low. Um, you know, technical things like working with parents to make sure that we're creating a good environment, not like I was saying earlier before we started about referees trying to work our way back onto their good side.
Hmm.
um yeah, it was really good. It's like an hour and a half long meeting. Super hot, no AC in the building though, so everybody was sweating. But it was, yeah, it was great. It was really, I think we came to some really good agreements. And yeah, they gave me a call about a week later after confirmation from the principal. Um, yeah, it's just kind of been starting up since then, like whipping into gear. We had our meeting the other day. It's an entirely new coaching staff. The JV assistant, head coach for varsity, me, and varsity assistant. Full new coaching staff, but all the people there are really great. They gave us their recommendations and told us anything you need, come to us. So it's a good group over there, and the football coaches are there too. But
Yeah.
yeah,
If
um,
there's, you know, give me the answer as if a parent of one of your players is listening, right? Like, what's your coaching style like? How would you describe your coaching style for them?
yeah, I want to give the players freedom to do what they can do, but in a system that's going to be successful for the whole team. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I just for some backgrounding on a couple of things we just went to. So the Sean he's talking about, that's Sean Farrell. He's the director of, I think his title is director of activities and athletics, maybe, or maybe not athletics, but he does a lot of a lot of the hiring stuff. And I lived down right near Middlebury, and I coached at Middlebury previously, and so I know Sean pretty well and worked for him. And when the job came open, I'm really invested in the success of Middlebury soccer because I still have relationships in town and with some of those players, and I want to try to connect talented people to jobs that I care about. Right, so I see a lot of talent in Oscar, and so when I encouraged him to apply, and then sent Sean a message. It was just like, you should check this guy out. And then, from there it's on Oscar, right? Like to do the thing and all that stuff. But I'm really glad that it is going to work out because I think there's going to be really great things happening. To your part about the full-time thing with high school, there's no full-time high school jobs in Vermont, and that might be everywhere, but nowhere.
Okay.
So the ones that are full-time, the ones that like are coaching at school that work at the school full-time, those are like, you're a teacher. And so the girls coach at Middlebury High School, his name is Reeves Livesay. He's a math teacher and he coaches the team, and they give you a little stipend. Middlebury pays pretty well in the grand scheme of like what coaches get paid. The head coaching positions are paid pretty well as compared to, some other smaller schools, but it's still like, it's a stipend for the fall and you definitely can't live on it. It's not like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
There are very few that the stipend is even very substantial. I would say the few that have a substantial stipend are like the big Chittenden County schools.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're good jobs. Like they don't pay nothing, and they cover your costs to get from here to there, and it's nothing hits quite like high school soccer. Like high school soccer is awesome. Like just I love
There's
it.
an aura in high school. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, club is like no one cares. Like, I mean, not no one cares. It's a big deal. You want to win the games, but at the end of the season, you're like, okay, you won the club thing, and so did these 20 other teams. But at high school, it's like winning matters, right? Like, you score a lot of goals, you get to go up on the wall, right?
I mean,
Like,
you got a lot of kids who they don't know anything about soccer. They don't care about it. They're just excited to be out there yelling. So yeah,
yeah,
there's an atmosphere.
yeah, and also the vibe in the team is like there are some kids there that aren't super serious about soccer. They want to do their best, but like they're in it for like the activity of it all and to be with friends and to try to go win a thing for the pride of the town. And it's a whole awesome thing. It's a whole awesome thing. We're coming right up on preseason now. Starts, so we're recording this on Sunday the 9th, and preseason starts on Thursday the 13th. Lucky
Yep.
13, right?
Yep.
You got
13th. Yep.
you got any special first day plans with them?
Oh yeah. Uh, Starting off with a 6 minute mile. Maybe we'll do a 12 minute 2 mile, depending on how in shape people look. Hill sprints. They're gonna love it. No, we'll do some light fitness or medium fitness. I want to see, but yeah, then we're gonna be getting straight into just seeing what you can do. Yeah, a lot of playing. We're gonna do a lot of playing over the first couple of days.
Yeah, that's always fun for players, especially coming in and to be able to set that standard. I Most coaches can say like, okay, this is like a hallmark of my teams. Like, what's a hallmark of an Oscar team?
I like to be able to just make the opponent not want to have the ball, like be scared that there's going to be people coming to take that ball from them. So taking the ball and just getting after them. Like I don't want my players. I don't like when my players get in front of someone in a 1v1, slow down, and like see if they should go backwards or slow down the play. I want them running at people, and I don't mean just like doing it in like a sloppy like kicking the ball down the field, chasing after it. I want people with the ball at their feet, comfortable with it, going at someone, making a pass through. I like having runners come from deeper positions and get in behind so you can find passes in. Just relentless. I like it to be relentless. Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that. That's cool. That'll fit right in with what I know about the culture of the boys in the team too.
yeah,
They're gonna really take to that, I think. The
yeah.
relentless nature. Just trying to put teams under pressure and make them uncomfortable, man. That's if you can do that, you're winning most of the time.
What does it's your first season as coach here. So what does success look like for you?
Success is, I want to be in games. I don't want to be getting, knocked around by 4 or 5 goals. And I want players to be having good performances. Like me personally, I hate losing. So if I could go in, I know this isn't realistic, but going without losing would be a dream for me. But I like this. At least as long as we're in games and we're putting opponents under pressure and we're making them uncomfortable, um, that's successful for me. And if the kids are enjoying their game and they're liking their play and we're scoring goals, that's fine with me. Yeah. But obviously, I like to win. I
Yeah.
hate losing and I love winning. So
Yeah.
the more we
Yeah.
win, the happier I'll be.
Yeah, I mean everybody will be, right? Like winning,
Yeah.
especially if you do it consistently, can like it gives you all the feel goods and you don't have to struggle through season as much. One of the things that the way that I always phrase this, the same thing you just said, the way I always phrase it is the goal in every game is to be in a position to win it at the end of the game, right? Which is to say, like, okay, sometimes you're up by a few and you're going to win it. And other times it's close at the end. And then, maybe you win or maybe you don't. But success isn't necessarily the winning or the losing. It's the being there to be able to make a play to win a game is
Yeah.
kind of the success, right? Because
Yeah.
you can't teach exactly like, okay, I'm going to make the play to win it. But what you can teach is how to get to be able to make the play. So that's the way I like to think about that stuff. And like, end of season happens, like all the teams make the playoffs or almost all the teams make the playoffs and you have a decent season, maybe surprise a person or two. And, you know, you go down in the book as a legend first year in, maybe you win the whole thing.
It's a dream. That would be the dream. Yeah. It's possible.
It'd make
Nothing's
you,
impossible.
it'd make you a better coach than me, man. I could never get past the semifinal when I was there.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
It's true.
So outside of like wins and losses and all that stuff though, what would make you, proud at the end of the season?
Proud. Let's see. I think to be proud at the end of the season, is just seeing like the development from the kids. Like I know not all of them are finished projects. Most of them, all of them are
Well,
finished
especially at that
products.
age, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so just seeing if they can develop to like being 30 or 50% better than they were when we started, and seeing if we can build a platform to like work off for the next years. I think if they could just show me that they're improving and they're still in love with the game and they're having a good season and a good time, that would make me proud. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. I love that.
My question is, as a younger guy, I mean, not that you're fresh out the womb, but like as a younger guy, in his first kind of high school level head coaching experience, how, what's your approach to working? You mentioned earlier working with the parents a little bit. What's your approach to kind of just building not just the culture inside the team, but building the whole culture around the program?
Um, this is something I'm less experienced in, so I'm gonna have to be learning that as I go. But I think really just making sure they feel involved, like not shut out. Like if they need to talk to me, they can talk to me. If they need something from me, I'll do my best to give it to them. Uh, I remember I have a little anecdote from my middle school season last year. We were playing against uh, some Christian school from Rutland, middle school. They come down. The head coach is like friends kind of with our AD. We're all very friendly at the beginning of the game. Uh, I think we're winning about 3-1 in the second half. Is our homecoming game for the middle school. And the head coach on the other side, she's just screaming. She's screaming at her poor players, like her daughter's on the team, just like screaming at them, screaming at the ref. I remember finally my wife was sitting on the bench behind me and she's like, Oscar, she's supposed to be doing that? And I look over, she's in my technical box, screaming at the referee. And I asked her, I'm like, hey, can you go back to your side of the field for me, please? She's like, oh, okay, Oscar, I see what kind of person you are. Runs back to her side, screaming at me now, screaming at the ref, screaming at the players. Ref finally stops the game, gives her a yellow card. He's like, listen, you can't be doing that. Finally starts the game back up. She starts screaming at him again. He comes over again, sends her off, makes her leave the field. She walks around the outside of the pitch, yelling, yelling, yelling. All the parents on their side are yelling. Like it is, like I said, it was alternative school. All the parents on my side are very timid. They're like they don't like to yell. They don't like to get too rowdy. But this school, they are just screaming at everybody. We play for maybe 3 more minutes. She comes sprinting back around the edge of the pitch to scream at the ref and her players again. Ref stops, picks the ball up, takes it, says game's over. He's been out in the sun for 5 hours coaching or ref at homecoming games, and they just blow up. Like they completely blow up. So I get my players around there. Oscar, did we win? Like I think so, buddy. Let's go shake hands. Everybody shake hands with the other team. Talk to their assistant coach, and he's like, I don't know. But it was like a horrible blow up. Like these poor kids, it's their homecoming game. They just want to be out there playing. The whole other team's crying, so I'm like talking to them. I'm like, listen, guys, it's okay. This happens sometimes. And she's always like this.
Oh,
But
man.
the point of this, sorry, that was a long tangent. But the point of this is that I had parents coming over to me after the game, like, thank you for handling it that way, like not getting like involved in her screaming match, not like blowing this completely out of proportion. And I think I got maybe like the entire team, all of the parents like came over, like, thank you so much for not making this like worse than it was. I'm like, it's youth soccer. I'm just trying to like have a good environment for these kids to play in. And I know that even if there's outside forces like the other team trying to, make it chaotic and make it unfun for the kids, it's like you just got to keep it in control. Like stay calm, stay composed, and like keep everybody in a happy mood because it's a sport, it's a game. At the end of the day, you're out there to have fun, especially at this level. So I think just yeah, trying to make sure everyone's still enjoying themselves is an important part to a certain extent. Yeah.
Yeah, you play a game, which implies fun, right? So like this is
Yeah,
what it should
you're
be
playing
about.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, my type 2 fun experience is you're not going to have fun in every single moment, but at the end of the thing, when you walk off the field there, you're like, yeah, I had a good time, right? Type 2 fun.
Yeah, hopefully.
Type 1
Yeah.
fun, puppy dogs and ice cream. Everybody loves those. Type 2 fun. Did we have a good time doing this now that it's all over? Right?
Yeah.
I like that story is like, unfortunately, it's like all too common that there's an adult, who maybe the coach, maybe not, who needs to be in that space. And for whatever reason, their own, they feel like they need the space to be a certain way. And it's just really not conducive to kids having fun,
Yeah.
and bravo to you for handling it like the responsible adult.
Yeah, just don't have to engage in it. Like it's just a negative energy from somewhere that you don't need to like help foster it. So I'm not gonna like scream at this poor woman who's screaming at everybody else. Like that's not gonna make it any better. Same thing with refs. Like I'm not gonna scream at a ref for making a bad call. He's trying his best probably out there. It's gonna make it worse for myself.
Yeah, probably. They definitely are. We had our last guest, and it'll actually air after this one. Our last guest was a referee, and he was talking about like one of the things we talked about was like everybody's out there just doing their best, like
Yeah.
Like they don't need to. I'll tell you what makes me better at things, especially when I'm like typing on my keyboard. If somebody's behind me screaming at me that I got it wrong, like that definitely makes me so much better at that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm one of those rare people. No, I'm joking. That's not at all. That was very sarcastic. Like the encouragement. So okay. So we talked a little bit about outside the field. What's your approach to culture building outside looking in? If I'm watching your team not play, but like conduct themselves, like what kind of culture are you trying to build inside the team?
Just one that like each other. I want them to like feel comfortable doing whatever they need to do together. Um, Team building is always important. Doing like I know everyone hates team building, but doing like the little icebreakers and like stupid little games during like we have like a practice the day before a game. Like we're not going to be out there running suicides, but we'll do little team building exercises. You know, and just making sure that because if you are comfortable with each other off of the field, you're going to be even more comfortable with each other on the field. So
Mm-hmm.
building the chemistry with each other, um, making players know that they have each other's backs. Like if you're out there and you're having a bad game, someone is going to be able to cover you, and it's not going to be like a drag to you. It's going to be because that they're your teammate and they want success and they want you to succeed and they want themselves to succeed. So just building a culture where everyone wants to be working for each other and with each other is really really important to having a successful team. So just having them be comfortable with each other is important. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I mean, I think that's the core of a good culture, right? And also the challenge with high school, right, is that they have known each other most of their lives. So they come into it with like sometimes there's walls that really need to be broken
It's
down between
pre-existing. Yeah.
yeah. And sometimes and that can be sports related, it can be not sports related. This guy could be like talking to this guy's girlfriend over here. Like you just don't know all the history
High
that's
school. Yeah.
that's in there. So I think that's one of the really fun challenges is to be able to get all the horses pulling in the same direction, even if
Yeah.
they're all not
Yeah.
necessarily. Um, yeah, I think that the team building stuff, I think people like it. I think they pretend not to, right? But I think that they
Yeah.
actually do
It
enjoy it. Like
because
the human knot may sound stupid, but then when you do it, like how many smiles are happening and how many people are laughing for
exactly. Yeah.
when it's over, right?
You tell them what they're doing, they're like, "Oh man, I don't want to do that," and then you actually start doing it, and they're all having a great time. So
Yeah.
Every single time I've done that in the corporate world, right? Like starting a new job, or like we had to go through a boot camp here where I work. It's like partial online and then in person at the headquarters for like a week. And it's always one of those things like, oh, we're gonna do some icebreakers. Like, yeah, son of a. But then you start doing, you're like, oh, this is fun, and it turns out like I
eventually,
know, like I
yeah,
got some stuff in common with this other person over here.
yeah,
So
you
so
learn
yeah,
something about them. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, my resistance to all of them is that there's like no challenge truly in it. They're like
Sure,
all
yeah.
it's a lot easy. Like there's nothing that you have to be like to be successful to solve the human knot. There isn't a whole lot of resilience required. So you
Mhm.
don't really, as an athlete, you don't really learn a whole lot about a teammate from doing something like that, right? Because what you got to learn is how you're going to react and respond when like you got to solve these challenging problems and
Right.
during the times you go down by two early in a semifinal game, like what are you going to do? You can't learn that from that stuff. And
Yeah,
so some of the people that I do leadership training with and I are like we're trying to figure out how we can like kind of solve for that so that in like the team building stuff we can get like a lot of challenge in it to really kind of build the muscle, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
And I have not come up with any solution. These are much smarter people than me, so hopefully they'll come up with something.
Oscar, what are some things throughout your soccer career that have influenced your style of coaching? Was it like coaches? Was it, experiences that have
yeah. I
happened
have
to
some
you?
I have some positives and some negatives actually. Yeah, so positive. Actually, working with when I was playing for John or O'Connor for the Summit team, like he was hard on you, but he was always also very personable. Like if you needed to ask him something, he'll tell you, and he won't make you feel like an idiot for asking him. it was really, really helpful in that way. So yeah, playing for him, I always had a really, really good time, and he was great about giving like opportunities to players who wouldn't usually be like starting in the first 11 or players who are maybe on the fringes more. He was good at making them feel like they're still part of the team
Hmm.
and getting them like involved in all of the practices. Um, I have a negative when I don't know if it's shit. So when I was a senior in high school, I remember me and my coach weren't close for like most of my career there on the varsity team. We had problems. I was a little stuck up. I was a 17-year-old and I was good, so I was stuck up. So but he had problems with that, which I get. But I remember I got a bad test grade, I think, the day before our playoff game, and I don't think I took it well. And I think I had an email exchange with the teacher, like, I need to play this game. Like, um, and he dropped me not just from the team, but from the entire squad. I had to stand on the sidelines for the entire game and watch my team lose to Brattleboro, which was so painful. But the way that he did it, I remember had an impact on me. He was very like unforgiving and just kind of rude to me about it. And I was like, if I'm ever a coach, like I don't want my players to feel that way about me. Like I can, if they have to get dropped for like grades or something, I get it. But you can be like nice about it. Like you can be understanding, be forgiving.
Sure.
Um, so
Professional.
I learned from that and just like I don't ever want to coach that way. I want my players to feel comfortable and like not feel scared of me and not feel like at any moment I could like snap and
Right.
mess with their careers. Yeah.
A place of psychological safety. This is a thing that keeps coming up, like comfortable with each other, playing for each other, not like a coach feeling like wanting to feel respected even in those difficult conversations. Like the thing that keeps coming up, like the fancy word for that is you want to create an environment of psychological safety. Like over and over and over, you keep saying that same
Yeah.
thing where guys are
Yeah.
excited to show up. They feel like they're going to be accepted and they feel like, and you know, again, it keeps coming up the river. They're going to be relevant. They're going to be important. They're going to be valued. They're going to be empowered, and they're going to be respected. And that's the environment over and over and over. You're using different words, but you're saying exactly the same thing. So it's like, again, why I know you're going to be awesome at this, right? That's why I know it.
Yeah. If you can let somebody be vulnerable and respected, it builds that trust, right? Like they feel like they're safe in that environment. And the more trust you build, the more effort they're going to want to put in towards the common goal.
Yeah, it's got to be, you got to
Yeah.
be safe to make mistakes. Like, and
Yeah.
I don't mean a pass that was the wrong pass or a pass that you flubbed, but like as a human being, you got to
Yeah.
feel safe to like fail that test and not be like, okay, you may not be able to play. You may have to stand there. You may even have to, the situation could be exactly the same as far as what you have to do and watch the game from the other side. But how that's handled is like, that's what matters, right?
Oscar, in your mind, what makes Vermont soccer so unique?
I think it's just I think it's a little like secluded. It's a secluded place. Um, we get I mean, at least my high school teams and the ones we play against, we'd play like there maybe be like one or two foreign exchange students on each team, like or like kids who weren't really from Vermont. It's a lot of homegrown players in Vermont, um, and I think for a while there weren't a lot of pathways for those players, but I think in the last like 5-ish years, just more pathways, especially with Clovers. There's more paths for those players now to like go on and continue their career after high school or play in
Right.
college and find ways to keep playing the game. There's lots of teams popping up around the state for boys and girls. Um, but I think just the culture, it being such a small state, like if you're playing on like a club team, you're gonna know 30% of the dudes on the other team just from like being in the circuit. So since it's such like a smaller pool of player with frankly there's a lot of talent for it being such a small pool, and knowing all each other. It almost feels like a huge community of players. Like
Yeah.
everyone, if you don't know someone, you know someone who knows this person. Like
Yeah.
there's always a connection somehow in Vermont. And I think that's really cool especially for the game. Yeah, for being in the sport.
Sure. Sure. As much as Vermont soccer has grown in the past, 10 years, where do you see there's still opportunities for growth?
Um, I think just more opportunities for players who can't afford to play for some of these club teams, or if there's funding to maybe bring players on who are from lower brackets and poorer families, and giving them ways to play. Like I know so many players in Vermont who were like elite talents, better than like anyone on their school, but they're just they're from much poorer families, and they can't afford to like play out a season not during high school. Like
Sure.
it's just not in their budget. So I think a lot of them could have been, really great talents, played in college, played in all that sort of stuff, but they just didn't have the exposure and the opportunities that a lot of other players did have, even if they weren't, necessarily as talented or hardworking as these players. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, club soccer's not cheap. It's
No,
not
it's
not
not.
cheap at all. I mean,
No.
I know we have our son play club soccer, but it's a great opportunity, but it's, I guess I forget that it's one that not every player is afforded. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about access paths, right? So
yeah,
like, and the clubs, all the clubs that I know work really hard to be able to make what they do accessible to, the people that do it, but
sure.
there's only so much they can do, right? Because it costs what it costs, and you
Yeah.
got it. And there's only so many dollars floating around out there to support all of it. And the other thing too is we talk a lot about like financial access stuff, but Vermont is a largely rural state. So the access paths are mostly available for the kids in Chittenden County, especially the core Chittenden County players,
Yeah.
like, the kids with like less means from Winooski or Burlington or whatever. Like the clubs have worked really hard to get them opportunities, and they do a really great job with it. Just generally, not that everybody gets in there. There are plenty of people still missed, but when you start talking about Rupert, Vermont, right? Like it's a different, or up in the Northeast Kingdom, like near St. Johnsbury, right? Caledonia Flood, like they try to get all these kids in, but it's not just, okay, it costs money. It's like, how do I, this is an
How?
hour and 20
Yeah.
minute ride each direction over hill and dale. And last but not least, so it's three things, like, so it's location and the rural player, right? It's the money thing also, because things cost money to do, enter leagues, buy uniforms,
Mhm.
whatever. And if, again, let's say you're a, a farm family, there isn't a lot of money floating around, right? There just isn't. And then the third thing is like access of teams, like physical teams, like there just aren't enough coaches.
Yeah.
And so like we rely on a lot of volunteers, which is really great, but there just aren't enough coaches. So I think our responsibility as leaders in the game is to try to get more coaches involved, because every coach that you have that is now, experienced and has the right things in their mind about it, like that's a dozen more kids at minimum that could be playing. And where there's a will, there's a way. If you're a coach and you want to do it, you'll figure out how to get a team together.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out.
What's I feel like I've kind of heard you guys talk about this in the past, but like, is there a certification program for coaches? Like, are you just volunteering because you know how to do this, you know how to play the game, you know how to like lead a group of guys? Like, what do you think the barrier is of why? Like, is there a barrier to entry? Is there something difficult about being a coach that why don't we have more coaches?
It's a couple things, I think. Um, First of all, the times that it happens, like you think about school, that happens right after school. Like, so 3:30, 4 o'clock is when you
Oh
start.
yeah,
People work till 5. So that's
yeah,
one. Second, playing and coaching, there's not a direct translation, because coaching and teaching a thing and building the culture thing is different than showing up to play, right? So there's always going to be
Sure.
that kind of gap. There are certification programs, right? There's actually a couple different ways you can do it. US Soccer does it. There's a thing called United Soccer Coaches. And even the high schools have a different thing that you could kind of like go through and do that stuff. So you can get certified and you can learn the basics of like group dynamics and team management. But I think it's really intimidating for a lot of people. And I think they do other stuff and they have other hobbies. And, instead of look, we get paid for this stuff. Like you get paid to coach the high school, but to a large degree, like if you do the math on how much you get paid hourly, you are donating your time.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Sure.
So like
Yeah.
it's a massive time suck. And the other thing about this is, and this is not, I'm not knocking the families, but it's not easy because you're not always getting it right. Like you're making decisions that, a family disagrees with, or, whatever, and not through any bad action. You get it wrong because you're a human being, and, and so like you have to, there is a thing. And I think that people are sometimes hesitant to get into it because of all the stuff that isn't about the on the field stuff. And I say this all the time. You hear me say this a million times. The on the field stuff is easy. It's also the smallest part of the job. Whereas the hard part where you're spending all your time and energy and effort is everything off the field, the managing of the full group, the competition stuff, the travel stuff, the managing the parental expectations. And then there are some of us who are sickos and we can't stay away, as Oscar described himself as. I use the word sicko, but then the bug bites you. So it's about creating more opportunities for people to get bitten. And even if you coach for 3, 4, 5 years while your kid's playing at the rec department, like that's a massive win because that's one team the rec department could do that they might not have been able to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it happens every year. So like we just signed, Tim up for fall rec travel, and, sure enough, they're putting out a plea. Like, we need coaches. Like, we thank you for signing your kid up, but now, we don't know if we can create these opportunities because we still don't have coaches, and it's like the 11th hour.
I also think a thing that people think is that they need to know soccer to be a decent coach. And you don't. Not really. Like, you got to know the rules, but like you can find all the drills online. But what you really need to do is like want to work with kids and have an idea of like what does a good experience look like, so that like at the end of the day, success, like big picture, especially for little kids, success is them wanting to show up every time. And they leave and they're like, I can't wait until next time.
Right.
I had fun. Like that is what success looks like. You don't have to know anything about soccer to be able to create an environment where a kid is showing up and having a good time. You could run around and chase butterflies the entire time at soccer practice with a ball. They might not be getting any better at soccer, but they're having a good time and they want to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that those, I mean, what do you think, Oscar?
I'm spaced out. I was thinking about drills. You said something about drills at practice, and I was thinking about drill. Oh, about coaches. Yeah. I mean, I'm still new to it, but I think just wanting to be doing something, and like not even just being helpful. Like you're curating something for players to be able to do, and take away some of the free time that they might not know what to do with. And just giving kids an outlet to express themselves. I think that's one of the huge things about soccer, is that it's such an expressive game.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so many different ways you can play, like individually and as a team. So giving these kids like a way to express themselves out on the field, it's almost like being like an art teacher. Like you give them a pencil and a piece of paper, and you tell them like maybe a shape they can draw, and there's a million different ways they could draw that shape. So being just out there and giving the kids a little bit of instruction, and then letting them like work, show themselves on the field, I think is a really important part of being a coach.
In a world where there's not enough people doing the coaching thing, what keeps you coming back to it? Why do you want to keep doing it?
I mean, for me personally, I just love the sport and I love being around it. But I think every coach has their own reason why they do it.
Sure.
Like some people want to they have free time to kill. Some people just really like working with kids. Some people feel they get like gratification from like teaching something. Um, Me personally, I feel all those things, and I just being able to work in a field that I love, that like it doesn't feel like I'm working, is important to me, since I have lots of other jobs where it definitely feels like I'm working. So just having like an avenue to like express myself and help other people express themselves. Yeah, that's for me personally. That's why I keep coming back. But yeah, there's a lot of different reasons why coaches would do it. And I think if more people realized that that was there would be more coaches. I think a lot of people don't realize that they can do it. Like they
Yeah,
think they need to be like 15 years into the game and coached, high or college or semi-pro to be out there coaching like a high school team. Like if you have the tenacity and like the determination, like you can do it. So I
sure.
think just helping people realize that those opportunities can be there. Yeah.
I think coaching at the high school level, they're probably going to want a seasoned coach, somebody who has ever done it before. But, for those rec opportunities, just a willingness to, be there for the kids, create the culture, give them opportunities to play, have fun, learn. The bar is much lower than I think you think, right?
Yeah, and there's a million ways to skin a cat. A long
Yeah.
time ago, oh, and this wasn't that long. I can't remember exactly how long, but like several years ago, when Posey was pretty little, it was yeah, she was probably 5 or 6 or 7, and she played rec here in town, and so they needed people, and I volunteered to help out with her, 7-year-old rec team or whatever. And I was doing stuff, and the other person that helped with that was the librarian, one of the librarians in town. And she would bring a book, and at the end of practice, we would sit down and we would read a book. Like, and the kids loved it, and they knew her. She's like, I don't know if she's the child's librarian or whatever, but they all knew her from the library because every little kid in town goes to the Ilsley Library, and they knew her, like knew Trisha, and they're like, so she's like, all right, we got 5 minutes left. We're gonna read this book real quick, and then we're gonna get out of here. And it was my point is this: is that's okay. They
Yeah.
did plenty of soccer, but they also had this other connection time. Like, and what I really appreciate about Trisha in that, she didn't come into it being like, yeah, I know the soccer thing. She's like, yeah, I know kids and I want to be around kids and let's create a great experience. And anyone can do that.
Yeah.
Well, anyone who wants to can do that
Yeah.
and should do that because kids need it. And it's not just soccer. It's like pick a thing, tennis, pickleball, whatever.
Sure. Sure. I got to be honest with you. Like, I've always wanted to help out with stuff like that, but I don't know soccer that well. So this whole conversation is like, maybe I'll help out.
I think we
Maybe
just
I'll do a
removed that
little bit more.
excuse, AJ.
I think you did.
like just show up, man. Just like you probably know enough.
Especially now.
The truth is your network now, having been with Clover, you probably know enough that you picked up just by osmosis, just
Yeah.
being around everything. And you now also have a robust network of coaches where if you're like, what do I do? If you're like,
Yeah.
Chris, I've got, Tim's 11-year-old team or whatever. Chris, what do I do? Like I'd write you a practice plan that you could be like, yeah, I can do that. Or Brian would, or Oscar would. Like you've got like a robust network of people that would literally do it for you if you ask
Yeah.
nice,
Yeah. I love
just
it.
to get you going.
I love it. We're coming up kind of on the hour here. I want to do some I don't know, some quick questions. Let's get to know Oscar a little bit more. You up for that, Oscar?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, man. What's your favorite soccer team?
I'm
Could be
partial to Napoli, but I like Madrid too. I know that's a
okay.
normie answer, but I like Madrid.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Who was your favorite player growing up? There you go. There you
Neymar.
go. Awesome.
Neymar, obviously, yeah.
I figured that was a loaded question.
What about
Yeah.
what about San Diego, man?
San Diego, who?
Yeah,
Diego?
Maradona. Yeah. What about Diego,
I
your
got into
guy?
him when I was probably like 15 because he he played a good 20, 15 years before I was born. So,
Oh, that's fair.
but I grew up watching the Neymar compilations on YouTube, like Santos Neymar 2010, all that stuff. I was in love with it.
And the Barca teams like with him and Messi and Suarez were so
Yeah,
good. Like they were
ridiculous.
so much fun. The three of them together,
Ridiculous.
they were so much fun
And that's the
together.
thing. It's even, but I hate Barcelona. The biggest Barcelona hater in the world, and I still love Neymar because he was that good. He made people just fall in love just by playing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for those listening, Oscar's wearing a Neymar shirt. So when I asked him that question, I kind of knew the answer that was coming. But anyway, a best soccer atmosphere you've ever experienced.
Oh, there used to be this tournament. I think they're still doing it down in Southern Vermont. It's like a 2-day tournament called John James. It's Burton, MAU. Brattleboro and Arlington, I think. And you play one game. The first day, each team plays the first game, and then if you win that game, you go to the John James Final. And it's under the lights almost every year. It's BBA versus MAU because no offense to Arlington and Brattleboro, but they were not the same class. And it's just huge derby. There's on one side, there's all the Arlington fans in a huge stand, and on the other side, there's all these BBA fans down the other side. Pitch is terrible. It's just dirt. It's just a dirt pitch. People are flying in at each other, screaming from either side. They start at like 8 p.m. It's amazing. It was awesome.
That sounds awesome.
It was like a real derby. It was a real derby. Yeah.
Yeah, and Arlington fans, for people who don't know, which is most people, Arlington, there's an incredible soccer culture in Arlington, and those fans bring it. Like they really, they bring it. Like Arlington soccer is next to none. It's a tiny little D4 school down in like, the backwoods nowhere. But like Arlington is everybody's rival. Like, so West Rutland, like their big rival is Arlington. BBA, the big rival is Arlington. Like Arlington is everybody's rival just because they bring it so hard. And there have been a lot of good players that have come out of little old Arlington over the years.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to ask you this question twice because I'm curious. You've been both a player and now a coach. Training session or match day as a player, what did you look forward to most?
Oh, the first whistle.
Yeah.
The game starting. Yeah. Just the feeling of like everyone's standing still and then kicking off. It's nothing better than that. Yeah.
And then
training. I think my favorite part of training was usually just when you're doing the little drills with your friend, like when you start off in the beginning and you're warming up, doing like long range passing or rondos with your buddies.
Yeah.
Just being around them during training. I love that.
So you're saying match day was your favorite as a player. Now, as a coach, is it still match day? Or is it a training session?
No, I'm terrified of the first whistle every time we start. I don't know how they're going to play. So,
yeah.
When I was a player, I knew how I was going to play, but when you're coaching, you have no idea if your team's on it or not yet. So,
all right.
Yeah.
As soon as that ball rolls, that's it. Like everybody could go rogue and do whatever. You have no idea. They could completely be flat. They could show up and like you just don't know. And they game soccer again more than just about any other team game. You have the least amount of control with. Like once the ball goes, it is the player's game. They're on their own program.
You can tell them what they're going to do. There's no guarantee they're going to remember what you told them. So
no. Even if they want to, there's no guarantee they're going to remember what you told them.
They're out there. They got low oxygen in their brain. Their blood's flowing. Like they're not going to remember what you told them in the huddle 10 minutes ago.
No,
you got to really nail it into their heads. Yeah.
And it's wild that it's like the win and loss, like that goes next to your name, but you have like you do all your work in the training leading up to game, and you just hope that those neural pathways are wide enough that they're going to be able to be successful and execute it.
All right. I want to take a moment to remind our listeners that they should go on our YouTube channel, subscribe for the video version of the podcast, and then you can see Oscar in his Neymar shirt. And you don't have to just, listen to this and let me tell you all about it. Also, make sure you're following Vermont Clover on Instagram at Vermont Clover FC. And the women's team, of course, is at Vermont Clover FCW. What else do we have out there? The website, vermontclover.com. And, of course, the Pink and Green Podcast on Instagram. You can also go to the pinkandgreenpodcast.com and check out all of our previous episodes and other cool stuff. All the links are there. Oscar, to wrap it up, a few years from now, when you look back on this whole Middlebury High School coaching experience, what do you think would have to happen for you to be like, yeah, that was a good move. That was a successful part of my coaching career?
I already feel like it's a good move, but in 5 years, I hope I look back and think that this is what really kicked it off, or really got me going. So I hope this is like a boost pad for me, and I hope this goes really well for a couple of years, and then we'll see where I am from there. But yeah, I'm very excited to get this season going. So
well, Oscar, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been another fun episode of the show. Any parting shots
for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Any parting shots, Chris?
Nah, I mean, well, yeah, all right. I say no every time, and then I have one. I would say if you're a person who follows Clover, if you've got a favorite player, like look them up, follow them on Instagram, like maybe follow their college team, whatever, because like it's all out there. Most of them are going back to their college teams, and like you can kind of stay engaged with like the guys that you really like to follow. And also for everybody listening, I would encourage you to get out to your local soccer games, be that high school or college or whatever is the closest park to you. Like figure out when the games are and like go watch.
Awesome. Well, I think there's nothing left to say, but we'll see you next time on the Pink and Green Podcast.
We sure will. Have a great day.
That's going to do it for today's episode of the Pink and Green Podcast. A huge thank you to our guests for joining us and sharing their story. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a review. It helps more people discover the growing soccer community here in Vermont. You can follow Vermont Clover FC and the Pink and Green Podcast on social media for updates, match coverage, and behind-the-scenes content throughout the season. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Until then, keep supporting local soccer and keep the game growing.
Wrapping